Justin and team have the right to defend themselves with the truth, says his attorney, and this is what we will be continuing to show with the upcoming website containing all correspondence as well as relevant videos that directly quash her claims.
What if the glittering image of Hollywood's Golden Girl was nothing more than a well-rehearsed illusion? An act that, once unmasked, sent shockwaves through Tinseltown. For years, she dazzled us as the embodiment of charm, sophistication, and promise. Yet behind that polished smile and impeccable style, there lurked a story of manipulation, betrayal, and an unraveling so dramatic it forced everyone to re-examine everything they thought they knew about fame. In a world where every misstep is magnified and every scandal devours a reputation, the tale of this once beloved star isn't just a celebrity saga. It's a masterclass in how quickly adoration can turn into abject disdain. It all began with an image carefully crafted to capture hearts and command attention. From the moment she stepped onto the silver screen, she was celebrated as America's sweetheart, a radiant symbol of hope and glamour in a fickle industry. Every interview, every red carpet appearance was meticulously managed to maintain an aura of effortless perfection. But behind that sparkling exterior, subtle shifts were already underway. Rumors whispered about backstage conflicts, uneasy alliances, and decisions that hinted at a thirst for control far beyond what anyone had expected from a young actress with a promising future. Slowly but surely, the cracks in the facade became visible. The very traits that once enchanted the public, confidence, ambition, and a sense of invincibility, began to morph into something darker, a relentless drive to dominate every narrative, even at the expense of genuine connection. And as the pressures of maintaining a flawless public image mounted, the line between passion and control began to blur, setting the stage for what would soon become an unprecedented downfall. Then came the fateful incident, a seemingly isolated controversy that would act as the spark igniting the conflagration of her career. In the blink of an eye, what had been a carefully curated image of grace transformed into a battleground of legal disputes and bitter feuds. Allegations surfaced, each more sensational than the last, painting a picture of a star not only desperate to preserve her reputation, but willing to manipulate every tool at her disposal to do so. Legal battles erupted over murky contracts and disputed rights, and what started as hushed whispers among insiders quickly exploded into a full-blown media frenzy. Every detail, every rumor was dissected and reassembled, with the narrative shifting as rapidly as the headlines. The controversy wasn't just about a single misstep. It was the culmination of years of strategic image management that had begun to crumble under the relentless scrutiny of both the media and a disillusioned public. As viewers, we were left to wonder, how could someone who once symbolized the pinnacle of Hollywood allure become so embroiled in scandal? In a desperate bid to regain control, the star's inner circle scrambled to contain the fallout. Legal maneuvers and high-stakes courtroom dramas became the new norm as adversaries on all sides locked horns over every scrap of evidence. Amid the mounting lawsuits and conflicting statements, her management resorted to a series of controversial PR moves that only deepened the public's suspicions. A notorious former intelligence operative was brought in to steer the narrative, a move that, rather than quelling the storm, only served to amplify the aura of secrecy and desperation. Every press release, every televised interview became a careful dance between truth and spin. But no amount of polished rhetoric could mask the growing dissonance between the star's carefully constructed persona and the stark reality emerging from behind the curtains. It was as if the more she tried to rewrite her story, the more the truth, raw, unfiltered, and relentless, demanded to be heard. As the legal battles raged on and the PR spin grew increasingly convoluted, a dramatic shift occurred in the hearts and minds of those who had once idolized her. Fans who had once cheered her every move began to question the authenticity of her persona. And Hollywood insiders, too, started to distance themselves from the once revered icon. Social media became the battleground where allegiances were lost and reputations were shattered in real time. One by one, endorsements evaporated and long-standing relationships crumbled as whispers of hypocrisy and manipulation grew louder. The public's transformation from adoration to animosity was swift and merciless. Each tweet, each comment, reinforcing the notion that the image of perfection was nothing more than a facade. What was once seen as a delightful quirk of a celebrity now appeared as a calculated strategy to maintain power, leaving everyone to wonder if there was ever any truth behind the smiles and scripted interviews.
Perez Hilton here, and that next legal move from Justin Baldoni could be suing his former agents at William Morris Endeavor. He could file a complaint against the film's distributor, Sony, who gave Blake Lively all of the power that she had, including releasing her cut of the film, even though she didn't have that in her contract. And even though her cut of their movie, which he co-starred in, produced and directed, her cut tested worse with preview audiences than his.
In the midst of this relentless storm of controversy, a single moment emerged as the definitive turning point, a visual testament to the collapse of the carefully constructed narrative. An illustration, as simple as a cartoon, captured the essence of the star's desperate bid to silence her critics and control the narrative. This wasn't just any image, it was a snapshot that encapsulated the extent of her overreach, a moment so raw and unfiltered that it left no room for reinterpretation. Suddenly, every carefully engineered statement, every calculated spin, was rendered meaningless in the face of undeniable evidence. The illustration spread like wildfire, its impact amplified by the speed and reach of the internet. What had once been dismissed as an overreaction was now accepted as irrefutable proof of a deeper, more troubling reality. The beloved star had been playing a dangerous game, and the stakes had never been higher. In that moment, the public realized that behind the glitz and glamour lay a story of hubris, control, and an unraveling that none could have foreseen. Amid the chaos, a broader conversation began to emerge, one that questioned the very nature of celebrity and the price of fame in a world driven by fleeting attention and relentless judgment. How do we reconcile the adoration we once felt for an icon with the disturbing revelations that lie beneath the surface? This scandal wasn't just about one individual. It was a reflection of an industry where power is wielded with little accountability and where image often triumphs over truth. As we watch the dramatic unraveling of a persona that was once untouchable, it's impossible not to wonder, what does this say about our own complicity in perpetuating these illusions? In a society obsessed with celebrity, the fallout of this scandal forces us to confront uncomfortable truths about the nature of success, the fragility of public opinion, and the ever-present danger of unchecked ambition. It invites us to question not only the narratives presented by the media, but also our own roles in creating and sustaining the myths we so eagerly consume. In the end, the downfall of this Hollywood darling stands as a cautionary tale, a reminder that behind every carefully crafted persona lies the potential for catastrophic collapse. The journey from adoration to scorn was neither sudden nor accidental. It was the result of a relentless pursuit of control at any cost, a desire to rewrite reality even when the truth was staring everyone in the face. As the dust finally settles on what can only be described as a career-ending debacle, one thing becomes crystal clear. In the high-stakes world of celebrity, one misstep is all it takes to turn admiration into abhorrence. And as viewers, we're left with the haunting question: in a culture built on the promises of perfection, can we ever truly trust the image presented to us? But the conversation doesn't end here. As we reflect on the collapse of what was once a shining beacon of Hollywood glamour, the implications reach far beyond the individual. It's a story about power, accountability, and the sometimes brutal consequences of a system that thrives on image over substance. The saga forces us to rethink our own perceptions of fame and the fleeting nature of adulation, a lesson that echoes far beyond the confines of the silver screen. Stay tuned, because in the ever-evolving landscape of celebrity and scandal, every ending is just the beginning of another story waiting to be told.